Hi, Phanessa here. In this video I am going to demonstrate how to crochet this throw blanket. It's really big, so I will have to just show you a photo. So this is basically the edge of it right now. So this blanket is approximately 37 inches wide and 74 inches long. So I will be providing a timestamp in the description box so that you can hop around to the section that you need. We are going to be covering a lot of different stitches, and I'm not going to be working every stitch really slow. I will demonstrate how to work each stitch, and then I'm just going to move forward. So if you need, you can actually speed up the video or slow down the video, or you can pause if you need to. Okay, so I used a combination of two different types of yarn. This is Yarn Inspirations Bernat, and this one's Velvet, which is the soft velvet here. And then this one is Symphony. It's a wool and acrylic blend. So I'm just making a sample, and this is what I'm going to be using. This is the Symphony, and the color is Royal. So this here is Olive, and this is Frosted Pine. And then I have a darker blue here, which is Indigo. Okay, for the materials, I used a total of 6 balls. I had 2 of the Symphony, and then I had 4 of the Velvet. I used a USK 6.5 millimeters, and then tape measure, pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. And you'll also need some stitch markers. Okay, a special thanks to Joanne Stores for sponsoring today's video tutorial. Let's get started then. Okay, so I started with the Symphony yarn. I'm going to start with a slip knot. Okay, so you want to chain 113. For this sample here, I'm going to chain 24 plus 1. So it's in multiples of 8 plus 1. So to keep track of the number of chain stitches you have, because 113 is a lot, you can place a marker every 10th stitch or 20th or whatever works for you. Okay, so I have 24. I'm going to crochet one more chain stitch. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Here's the first, and there's the second. Now this part is important. You're going to turn and work through the humps. Okay, so insert your hook through the back hump, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. So that's 1 single crochet. Now we're going to find the next stitch here, and again I'm working through the back humps. 1 single crochet. So you want to work 1 single crochet in every chain stitch across, and you should end up with 112 single crochet stitches. Okay, so we want to work 1 single crochet into every chain stitch across. Okay, so you should end with 112 single crochet stitches. Okay, so this is our foundation row 1. We're going to have another foundation row, so a foundation row 2. We're going to start by working a chain 2, so 1, 2, and then turn your work. Now this chain 2 counts as a half double crochet stitch. And this is the wrong side of your work. So if you need help figuring out which side is wrong and which side is right, go ahead and grab a stitch marker and place it on the right side of your work. So I'm going to place it back here because I'm now working on the wrong side. Okay, so this is the wrong side, and that's the right side where I marked it. Okay, so we're going to skip 2 stitches. Because this is part of the chain 2, we're just going to ignore that one. Skip 1, 2. Into the 3rd stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Yarn over, insert your hook into that third stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so we're going to work another double crochet, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then into the next stitch we're going to work another 2 double crochets into that same stitch. Okay, so into the next stitch, 2 double crochet stitches. Alright, so now we're going to skip 2 again. So we worked here we're skipping 1, 2. Into the third and fourth stitch here, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of those. So yarn over, insert your hook into that third stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, into the next stitch, another half double crochet. So your repeat starts at this half double crochet. You're going to work 1 half double crochet, skip 2, and then into the next 2 you're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets into this one, and then skip 2, and then again we're working a half double crochet, and then you start again with the other half double crochet. So you want to end with 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. So I started with my half double crochet, skip 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, skip 2, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 half double crochet into the next, skip 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, skip 2, and then I'm at the end, so you'll repeat that until the end. 1 half double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so that was our foundation row 2. Now we're actually starting on row 1. Chain 2 and turn. Now this chain 2 counts as a half double crochet stitch. So we're going to work one of these shell stitches in the chain 2 space. So now we're working 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets right into this chain 2 space. So right into the chain 2 space, work 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets into that same chain 2 space. Okay, so we're going to skip all these stitches. Into the next half double crochet stitch, you're going to work a front post double crochet. So that's a raised stitch where we will not work into the top of the stitch like this. We're going to work around the actual stem or post of the half double crochet. Okay, so this is working around the post, and we're working from the front. We're not working from the back. We'll do that on the other side. So we're working around the post, yarn over, insert your hook, okay, right around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so in the next half double crochet we're going to do the same thing. yarn over, working around the post from the front of your work, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so we're going to repeat that all the way across, working your shell stitch here in the chain 2 space and your 2 front post double crochets. You're going to repeat that all the way to the end, and then when you reach the end, you're going to work just 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. We're not working a post stitch on the edges. Okay, chain 2 space, work a shell stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, all into the chain 2 space. The next 2 half double crochets, we're going to work a front post double crochet around each of the next 2 half double crochets. Okay, that's 1. And 2. Okay, chain 2 space, work your shell stitch of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, all into the same chain 2 space. When you get to the end, you're going to work 1 half double crochet in the turning chain. So we had a chain 2 here, 1, 2. You want to work right in the top of the chain 2. Okay, if I turn this around, that's chain 1 and that's your chain 2. Row 2, and it's just a row 1 and 2 repeat. So chain 2, turn, again, chain 2 counts as a half double crochet. So right into the next chain 2 space, work your shell stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Okay, so the difference between the first row and this row is that now we're going to work back post double crochets because we want to maintain the raised stitches on the right side of our work. So what that means is we're going to work around the post of the double crochet stitches, but we're working from behind our work. So you're going to yarn over, and instead of going around from the front, and when I say front, it's the side you're working on, you're going to go around it from the back. Okay, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so the next double crochet, we're going to work a back post double crochet as well. Yarn over, go from behind around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so now we've worked the raised stitches on the correct side. This is our front side. We want to maintain the raised stitches on this side. Okay, so you're going to repeat that all the way across, working 1 half double crochet into the turning chain. So it's just like the first row, except we're working a back post double crochet instead of a front post double crochet. Okay, into the next chain 2 space, work your shell stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Back post double crochet, yarn over, go from behind around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. One more back post double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, shell stitch in the next chain 2 space, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Okay, so we're at the end. You're going to work 1/2 double crochet into the turning chain. If you have trouble finding the turning chain, turn your work around and then you can see your chain 1 and chain 2. The chain 1 is kind of small, but it's chain 1, chain 2, and then this one is my double crochet. So I want to work into the chain 2. And if it gets really difficult, just go into the space. Just work your 1/2 double crochet into that space. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. I've done that many times and it turns out fine. But it's really up to you. All right, so into the second chain from your turning chain, work a 1/2 double crochet. So repeat rows 1 and 2 once more, and you will have 5 rows of these shell stitches. So you can just easily count 1, 2, 3, and then you'll have the 4th and 5th one. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, but you will work another 2 rows, okay? So repeat rows 1 and 2 once more, and then you're going to fasten off. Okay, just yarn over and pull through and then tighten that part. Now we're going to start working on our foundation side. So at this point I switched to the color olive, and the reason why I'm not using the velvet is as soft as it is, it's really hard to see the stitches. Okay, so switching colors to whatever you're using. You may be using the same yarn throughout your project. So I switched to the velvet and I fastened on here. Make sure it's the right side of your work. So the reason why I said that it's important to work through the humps is so that you can clearly see the nice edges of the foundation stitch so that you can work into those stitches for this part of the pattern. So I'm just going to work a slip knot, place it on my hook, pull it through, and then I'm going to tighten this. And if you didn't work through the back humps, that's fine too. Just go ahead and work into the stitches down here. Now I'm going to chain 2. So this counts as a 1/2 double crochet stitch. So for this part, I worked 3 rows of 1/2 double crochet stitches. If you want less ends to weave after you've secured your new color, you can hold your yarn along your work and just work over it. I only do that when I've tied the 2 different strands that I'm changing and making sure that it's tight. Okay, so this one counts as a 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch here. So this is the first stitch that belongs to this chain 2. Into the next stitch, you're going to work a 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. All right, so just work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, again, you can place markers along your work to keep track of your stitch count. So I did that. I placed markers every 10 stitch so that I didn't have to keep going back to count my stitches. Okay, so for row 2 and 3 of the 1/2 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, turn your work. We're going to skip this stitch here because it belongs to the chain 2. Into the next stitch, we're going to work 1/2 double crochet. And then into every stitch across, work 1/2 double crochet. When you get to the end, you'll repeat that last row, working another 1/2 double crochet row. So I'm going to stop here. So you should end on the right side, working 3 rows of 1/2 double crochets. And you want to start on the wrong side of your work. Okay, so after your 3 rows of 1/2 double crochet stitches, you're going to be on your right side and you'll start your next set of stitches on the wrong side. So you want to stop and end on your right side, fasten off. So I switched to the frosted pine color now. And once you fasten on, you're going to be on the wrong side and you want to chain 3. Again, I'm not using the velvet yarn because it's really hard to see in the camera. So the chain 3 counts as a double crochet stitch. Again, we're skipping this stitch because it belongs to the chain 3. Into the next stitch, we're going to work 1 double crochet. Okay, now you're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch across. Again, I recommend placing stitch markers every 10th or 20th stitch. I found that it was a little difficult to see these stitches with my velvet yarn, so placing the markers was a really big help. So don't forget that you always work your last stitch in the turning chain. A lot of beginners miss that stitch and they end up with less and less stitch every row. So it's important to keep track of your stitch count. Okay, row 2, we're just going to turn. Okay, so now we're going to work the pocket group stitch, but I'll call it clusters or group. The last double crochet that we worked, we're going to work around the stem or the post of this stitch here. So we're going to work 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then 1 double crochet all around this stem here. So we're going to start with 1 single crochet. So go around these posts here, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, now you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. Around the same post again, we're going to work a half double crochet, yarn over, work around the same post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, again, around the post, this time we're working a double crochet stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook, around the same post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, now we're going to skip 2 stitches. Okay, here's 1, 2. We're going to work 1 slip stitch into the 3rd stitch. So we're skipping 1, 2 into the 3rd stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Now we're going to repeat this cluster of stitches here in the same post that we worked our slip stitch. So this stitch here, we're going to work in the post of the same stitch we worked our slip stitch. So around the post, just like when you were working your front post double crochet, you want to work 1 single crochet. And you can turn your work so that it's easier to work around. 1 half double crochet, yarn over around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 3 loops. Now 1 more stitch, which is going to be your double crochet stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So now we have another one of those cluster stitches. Okay, so the repeat is working this cluster stitch here. Skip 2 stitches, work a slip stitch into the next, and then repeat again. Cluster, skip 2, 1 slip stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across, and you should end with 1 slip stitch into the turning chain. So the 3rd chain from your beginning chain 3 on this side. Okay, around the post, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet. So skip 2, 1 slip stitch, work your group stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet. Okay, skip 2, 1 slip stitch, okay, group stitch. So go ahead and repeat all the way across. Skip 2, slip stitch, and work your cluster. Group stitch. Okay, so you should end with skip 2 and then 1 slip stitch into the turning chain. So that's row 2 of this stitch pattern. Row 3, we're going to chain 3 and turn. The chain 3 counts as your first double crochet stitch. Now we're going to work double crochet stitches across. So in these 2 that you skip, you'll work 1 double crochet in each of those 2 stitches. So this stitch here is the one where you worked your clusters. You're going to work 1 double crochet on top of that stitch as well. So in each of these 2 skip stitches, and then on top of that double crochet where you worked your cluster. So we're never working into the actual clusters, we're working into the stitches behind the cluster, okay? Into the first 2 double crochet stitches, we're going to work 1 double crochet each. Okay, now into this stitch here where the post is, just insert right on top. It's going to be the same stitch where you worked your slip stitch. Okay, that's where you're going to work your double crochet stitch. Okay, into the next 2. And then in the same stitch you worked your slip stitch. Go ahead and repeat that all the way across. So I have my last set of 3. Don't forget that this chain stitch here that you worked your very first cluster, you'll need to work 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, so now you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 times, and then you want to finish off with row 2, so the cluster stitches across. So you want to end after you've completed your last row of cluster stitches. So you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these group stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to turn my work and work my last group stitches, and then we'll move on to the next stitch pattern. I do want to note that my sample is in multiples of 8, however it doesn't work out for this pattern. This stitch pattern actually uses multiples of 3 plus 1, so it works with the 112 stitches, but it does not work with this sample. So you'll want to follow the pattern so that you have the correct stitch count. So now it's easier to see which side of your work is the front. If you see the clusters, you know that that's the front side of your work, and then the back side is just flat. Okay, so now we're ready for our next set of stitches. Okay, so you're going to fasten off. So you should end on the right side with these stitches, and then we're going to start the half moon stitches. Then we're going to fasten on with the olive color, and when you fasten on, you should be on the wrong side, and we're going to be working the half moon stitches with the circles, and then chain 1. Now you're just going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch across. So just like before, we're not going to work into the cluster. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in the skip double crochet stitches, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into the same stitch we worked our slip stitch for the cluster, and then repeat that all the way across. So starting with the same stitch, 1 single crochet, and then into the next 2 skipped stitches, 1, 2, and then right on top of the stitch where you worked your slip stitch. Okay, repeat all the way across. Okay, for rows 2 and 3, you're just going to work double crochet stitches. So chain 3, which counts as your double crochet, turn, and then you're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch across. Okay, row 3, same thing, chain 3 and turn, and then 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, don't forget to work your last double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, so row 4, this is where we'll start making the circles. You're going to chain 3, and this counts as a double crochet stitch. You're going to work 3 double crochets. Again, we're skipping this one because it belongs to the chain 3 up here. We're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to work around the post of the next stitch and then back up the post of this previous stitch, and we're working into the post of the previous row. So with all those stitches, it's going to sort of block your next stitch. So you want to grab a stitch marker and place a marker on your next stitch. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to work into that stitch once you complete your circle. And with all those stitches, it gets a little hidden. So what we're going to do is work 6 double crochets down this post here for the next stitch in the previous row, and then up the previous stitch 6 double crochets, and then continue on with our double crochets up here. So the easiest way to work this is to turn your work. So this is the post we want to work into. Okay, turn your work to the side so you can see the post stitch. You're going to work 6 double crochets around that post. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now we're going to work back up on this side 6 more double crochets. So to do that, I would turn it this way. So if you turn that way, what's going to happen is your yarn will be in front. All you have to do is just move your hook to the front. You can slip it off and slip it back in. Okay, so this is the previous stitch. Okay, right here. I'm going to put my hook there so you can see. And then I'm going to fold my work so that I can see that stitch. That post right there. Work 6 double crochet stitches. It'll get a little squishy, so you can slide your stitches down if you need. That's 2, 3, 4. Okay, slide it down. 5 and 6. Okay, so now you can turn it the right side up again. Okay, so this is where we marked our stitch that we're going to be working our double crochet stitch. So at first I was working it into this one because I couldn't really see that one. So if you have the same problem, make sure that you mark that stitch. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So remember, we've only been working around the post. We haven't actually worked into the next stitch. Okay, so 1 double crochet into that next stitch. Okay, so I'm going to remove this marker. I found it really helpful to place a marker when I first started this stitch, at least until you get used to it. Okay, so you want 8 double crochet stitches between each of the circles. So since we've worked this first one here, we're going to work 7 more in each of the next 7 double crochet stitches for a total of 8 double crochets starting here. Okay, so 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by now you should be a pro at working double crochet stitches. So now we're going to work another circle, another one of these. Again, I'm going to place my marker into the next stitch right there. Okay, and then we're going to work our circle around these 2 posts. Okay, so the next stitch is here, the next stitch is here, the post for that stitch is right there. So keeping my finger on the post, I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to work 6 double crochet stitches around the post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I'm going to turn and work into this post. Okay, so right there, again, you want to just move your hook so that the yarn is on the bottom. 6 double crochets around this post. So where I marked, I'm going to work 1 double crochet and then into each of the next 7 before I work another cluster. Okay, so you're going to repeat that all the way across. You want to work your circle and then 8 double crochets and then your circle and then 8 double crochets. Before you work your last circle, you should have 4 available stitches. So right here, now I'm going to work my circle around these 2, and then I'm going to end with 4 double crochet stitches. So 6 double crochets around this post here. And then 6 double crochets in the previous post. Okay, so again, you should have 4 stitches left, including the one right behind here. So this is the post that we worked into, and this is the first stitch that we need to work into after the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So work 1 double crochet in each of the last 4 stitches. Again, the last stitch is always worked into the turning chain. Okay, so we're going to work 3 more rows of double crochet stitches, and then we'll work our next set of circle stitches. So rows 5 through 7 will be just double crochet stitches. 6, chain 3, turn, and then work double crochet stitches all the way across. Okay, so right where the circle is, okay, so here you can see that we worked into this stitch here. That's these little stitches you see. That's the 2 post stitches we worked our circle. So we worked 1 double crochet on top of that stitch. Now you want to work 1 double crochet on top of this stitch. I like to count my stitches so that I don't add or miss any stitches. Okay, so continue working your double crochet stitches. Just slow down when you get to your circles so that you can make sure you work into the correct stitches. Okay, I forgot to move this marker. This is the last stitch before the circle, and then the very next stitch is this one here. Okay, so you want to continue. It's sort of like hopping over. You'll see this gap, but that's just for these. Okay, so continue that all the way across, and your next row of double crochets should be a lot easier. Okay, row 6, chain 3, turn, 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Row 7, chain 3 and turn, 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, row 8, chain 3 and turn. We are ready for another row of circles. So now we're going to stagger our circles. It's going to be here and here. So between the other sets of circles, you'll have a much wider piece. So you'll just have your circles in between these ones. So this counts as a double crochet stitch. You want a total of 8 stitches on the side. So you're going to continue with 7 more double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the post of the next stitch in the previous row, we're going to work our 6 double crochets and then 6 double crochets up here. And then we'll continue with 8 more double crochet stitches up here. Okay, so the very next stitch here, and place a marker there if you need, right on top. So around, I've turned my work sideways. Around the post, you're going to work 6 double crochet stitches. Okay, so now we're going to turn and work on the post from the previous stitch. Okay, 6 double crochets. Okay, so you're going to repeat 1 circle, 8 double crochet stitches. 1 circle, 8 double crochet stitches. So now we need 8 double crochet stitches, starting with the stitch right here. Remember, it's going to be the same stitch above the post we worked in. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, our next circle is going to be the post of the next stitch and the post of the previous stitch. 6 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, turn your work. You can turn however you like. If you keep turning in one direction, you'll get tangled up. 6 double crochets around the previous post. Okay, after you repeat across, you will end with 8 double crochets in the last 8 stitches. Your 8th stitch is going to go into the turning chain. Okay, so that was row 8. Okay, so row 9 is just chain 3 and 1 double crochet in every stitch across. And then you're going to repeat rows 2 through 6. And you'll end with 2 rows of double crochets after your circles. So you'll have a total of 14 rows, and that's including the very first single crochet row that we made here. Okay, then I'm going to start on the next stitch pattern. Again, this is a sample, so I'm only working a few rows. Once you complete your 14 rows, you should have 2 rows of double crochet stitches on top of your circle rows. Now we're going to fasten off, and we're going to fasten on with the indigo color. Okay, so that's this color here, and this is the section where we're going to work the basket weave stitch. Okay, so you should start on the wrong side. So once you fasten off and fasten on with the indigo, you'll be on your wrong side, and you're going to start row 1 with chain 3. We're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so row 2 of the basket weave, chain 2 and turn. So the chain 2 counts as a double crochet stitch. Okay, so the first 3 stitches, we're going to work a back post double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Again, it's behind your work, so we're working behind our work, working a double crochet around the post, just like we did earlier in this pattern. So we want to work 3 of those. Okay, that's 2, and then into this third one here. Three. Okay, now we're going to switch and alternate every 4 stitches. So the next 4 stitches is going to be front post double crochets. The next 4 stitches is going to be back post double crochets. And we're going to repeat alternating all the way across. So front post double crochets in the next 4. So here we have 3 back posts. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet. 4 front post double crochets. Now we're going to work 4 back post double crochets, working from the back around the post. Work your double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and continue alternating your 4 front post double crochets and your 4 back post double crochets all the way across. So my last 4 stitches are here. I'm going to work the front post double crochets just in the last 3 stitches, and then I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, for rows 3 through 5, we're going to repeat row 2. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. Again, the chain 2 counts as your double crochet stitch. And we're going to start with 3 back post double crochets, and then 4 front post, 4 back posts, and repeat all the way across. And you should end with 3 front post double crochets and 1 double crochet into the turning chain. To start with 3 back post double crochets, okay, front post double crochet here, okay, my last set is only going to be 3 front post double crochets, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, so that was row 3. So for rows 4 and 5, just repeat the last row. So you should have 4 rows of the post stitches, the raised stitches. Okay, so I'm at the end of row 5. Work my last 3 front post double crochets and my double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, row 6 through 9, it's going to be opposite of what we did, meaning where you see back post double crochets, you're going to work front posts. When you see the front post double crochets, you're going to work a back post. So we worked in sets of 4. You also work in sets of 4 rows. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. So here, the first 3 we've been working back post double crochets. Now we're going to work front post double crochet stitches. So we're changing the pattern by alternating the front and back posts. So now these are all front post double crochets. We're going to work back posts double crochet. So the next 4 are going to be back post double crochet stitches. Next 4 is going to be front post double crochet stitches. So repeat that all the way across, and you'll end with 4 back post double crochets and 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, I'm at the end of row 6. 1 double crochet into the last stitch, the turning chain. Now for rows 7 through 9, we're going to repeat row 6. So chain 2 and turn. Remember, now we're starting with the front post double crochets. So 1 front post double crochets in the next 3 stitches. The next 4 are back post double crochets. The next 4 are front post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat that all the way across, and for rows 8 and 9 as well. Okay, that was the end of row 9, and that's it for this stitch pattern. We're going to fasten off, and we're going to attach the olive color again. And we're just going to work 1 row of double crochet stitches. So fasten on with your olive, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch. We're just going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across. So there's the first one, second, third, and just continue working 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so now for row 2 of the next stitch pattern, we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch, turn our work. We're going to skip the first stitch here. We're going to work 1 double crochet into this stitch. So we're going to work a cross stitch. Okay, so now we're going to work 1 double crochet into the stitch that we skipped. So you want to insert your hook into that stitch that we originally skipped and work your double crochet. Okay, so that crosses the 2 double crochet stitches. In the next 2 stitches, okay, you're going to repeat skip 1 double crochet in the next, and then go back and work 1 double crochet into the skip stitch. You're going to repeat all the way across until your last stitch, and then work 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Alright, so here are the last 3 stitches. Skip 1, work your double crochet in the next, go back and work your double crochet into the skip stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, so to finish off this stitch pattern, I'm going to work 1 more row of double crochet stitches. Chain 3 and turn. 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so now we're done with this stitch pattern. Go ahead and fasten off. And now fasten on with this yarn, actually, the Symphony. Okay, so the next stitch pattern is the fan and V stitch. Going to be the largest stitch pattern because it uses 1 whole ball, and then you start going back working your stitches this way. So this part is going to be the center of your throw blanket. Okay, so fasten on the right side of your work. So for this stitch pattern, you're going to have to add 1 more stitch for the pattern to work out. So you have 112 stitches, somewhere at about 100, it doesn't really matter where. Make an increase, working 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Row 1, chain 1, so 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and the next stitch, and every stitch across until about midpoint. And then let me show you how to increase. Okay, so I'm just going to increase here. So in the next stitch where you want to increase, go ahead and work your single crochet, and then into the same stitch you're going to work another single crochet. Okay, so now we have one additional stitch. So you should have 113 stitches. Okay, row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. In the very first stitch where the chain 1 is, we're going to work 1 single crochet. Okay, now we're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Into this fourth one, we're going to work 9 double crochets. It's going to get a little tight in there, okay? So 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, we're going to skip 3 and we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next. So we're going to repeat that all the way across. Skip 3, 9 double crochets in the next, skip 3, 1 single crochet in the next. You should end with 1 single crochet in the last stitch. So 1, 2, 3, skip those 3, 9 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 single crochet, and then skip 3, 9 double crochets. So go ahead and repeat that all the way across. Okay, remember we added that extra stitch, so that's in order for this stitch pattern to work. So we have 1, 2, 3 stitches, and the fourth one is here. We're going to skip the 3 and work 1 single crochet into the last stitch. If we didn't increase, we would have ended up with just 3 stitches left. Okay, row 3, chain 3. This counts as your double crochet stitch. Turn. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the same stitch as the single crochet stitch. Okay, so we're going to repeat now. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right here where the next single crochet is, we're going to skip this fan here and we're going to work a V stitch here. So that's 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet right into this single crochet. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so repeat, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip this, all these stitches here, a V stitch into the next, which is the single crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. So repeat that all the way across until you get to the last stitch. You're going to work, instead of a V stitch here, you're just going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, row 4, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Again, this counts as a double crochet stitch. We're going to work 4 double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what you should have is 4 double crochets and the chain 3, which is 5 double crochets. Okay, so we're going back 2 rows to the fan. You're going to work into the center of this stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're working 1 single crochet right into the center of your fan stitch, and we're going to catch this chain 5. So insert your hook in the center of your fan stitch. Okay, make sure when you yarn over that you're grabbing the chain 5 as well. And then when you yarn over again to complete your single crochet, make sure that the chain 5 stitch is in there. Okay. Now we're going to work 9 double crochets into this chain 1 space. It's going to be a lot easier than before when you worked it into a tiny little stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So a little caution, I would get interrupted and I go back to count my double crochets, and I kept counting this one here, which is actually the chain 5. So I ended up with less double crochet stitches than I needed. So if you forgot how many you crocheted and you need to go back and count, make sure you don't count your chain 5 stitches here, okay? Because they run along the bottom of your row, and it looks just like it's part of your double crochet stitch. Okay, so I have 9 double crochets. Now we want to work 1 single crochet into the fan again and catching this chain 5. So I'm just going to count the posts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the center, the 5th double crochet stitch. Insert your hook. Make sure that the chain 5 is on top of your hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Make sure you catch that chain 5 stitch. All right, so go ahead and repeat working your 9 double crochets into the chain 1 space where the V is. And then you're going to work 1 single crochet on top of the center of your fan stitch, catching the chain 5 stitch. When you get to the end of your row, work your single crochet to that 5th double crochet stitch, and then work 5 double crochets into this space here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 5, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn. Now we're going to go straight to the single crochets between each of the fan stitches, and we're going to work our V stitch. So again, that V stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. Okay, now we're going to repeat chain 5, 3, 4, 5, a V stitch into the next single crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the single crochet. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, a V stitch into the next single crochet, so that's 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet stitch. Okay, so now we're just going to chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of this turning chain here. Okay, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Row 6, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet right into the same turning chain that you worked your slip stitch. So right there is where you worked your slip stitch. Work 1 single crochet. We're going to work 9 double crochets into the chain 1 space in the center of the V stitch. Okay, so now we're going to work our single crochet in the center of this 9 double crochets. So count 5 stitches and insert your hook. Work a single crochet catching this strand here, the chain 5. Okay, so repeat that across, 9 double crochets, single crochet on the top catching the chain 5. Okay, when you get to the last set of 9 double crochet stitches, you're going to work 1 single crochet into the turning chain. Okay, row 7, you're going to chain 3 and turn. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the same stitch as your chain 3. Now we're going to repeat chain 5, 3, 4, 5, and then a V-stitch into the next single crochet here. And the V-stitch is again 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. Chain 5, and a V-stitch. So repeat all the way across. And end with 2 double crochets into the single crochet here. Okay, that was row 7. For rows 8 through 13, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 7 once, and then for rows 14 through 18, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 6 once. Okay, once you've completed rows 8 through 18, you're going to work row 19. So chain 3 and turn. And this is the last row for this stitch pattern. Again, this is just a sample. Okay, so you're going to work 1 double crochet into that same stitch. And you're going to chain 2. And then work 1 single crochet into the top of this fan stitch here. Chain 2. And then work a V-stitch in a single crochet right here. 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. Chain 2, 1 single crochet in the center of the fan stitch, chain 2, a V-stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. So you're going to repeat that all the way across. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 2, 2 double crochets into the last stitch. So you should end on the wrong side and fasten off here. Now we're going to work back the other direction. And what I mean by that is, remember I said this was our center stitch? Okay, so here you have the fan and V stitch. Now we're going to work our double crochets and cross stitches. And then we're going to work our basket weave stitch. Here you have the half moon stitches. So these are the embossed pockets. Okay, and we'll end with this set here. So fasten on with your olive color. And you should be on the right side of your work. You're going to chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet stitch. So you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch here. This is the stitch that belongs to the chain 3. So into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. And into this chain 2 space here, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. 1, 2. Into the single crochet, 1 double crochet stitch. Chain 2, we're going to work 2 double crochets. Into the V stitch, we're going to work 1 double crochet in the first double crochet stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. Okay, so for every chain 2 you work 2 double crochets. For every single crochet you work 1 double crochet. For the V's you work 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and we'll repeat that all the way across. Okay, so you repeat until the last 2 stitches. We're going to work double crochet 2 together. So we had to increase 1 stitch for this stitch pattern here. So we're going to decrease 1 stitch to bring it back down to 112. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over, work into this turning chain. So insert your hook into the turning chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we're back down to 112 stitches. So for the next row we're going to chain 3, counts as a double crochet stitch, and we're going to work cross stitches like we did before. The repeat is skip 1, 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in this skip stitch. Because we've already gone over these stitches, I'm just going to explain it, and I won't be spending too much time on these stitches. Okay, with 3 stitches left, you're going to skip 1, 1 double crochet, and 1 double crochet into the skipped stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. So skip 1, 1 double crochet into the next, go back and work 1 double crochet into the skipped stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. The last row of this stitch pattern, chain 3, turn, and we're just going to work 1 double crochet all the way across. Last stitch, 1 double crochet into the turning chain. So fasten off here, and then you want to fasten on with the indigo velvet color, and we'll start our basket weave stitch. So you want to fasten on the wrong side. So once you fasten on, you're on the wrong side of your work. You're going to chain 3, and you're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, row 2, you're going to chain 3 and turn. So this is where we work our basket weave stitch. We're going to start with 3 back post double crochets. Remember, that's working around the post from the back. Okay, this is the second one and the third one. Okay, so now we're going to work in sets of 4 front post double crochets, 4 back post, 4 front posts. So repeat, alternating between the front post double crochets and the back post double crochets, and you're going to alternate every 4 stitches until you get to your last 4 stitches. Okay, last 4 stitches. I'm going to work 3 front post double crochets, and then in the last stitch we're going to work 1 double crochet into the turning chain. For rows 3 through 5, you're going to repeat row 2, row 3, chain 3 and turn. I'm just going to repeat once, and then we'll work on rows 6 through 9. Okay, once you complete rows 3 through 5, this is my last stitch, 1 double crochet into the turning chain. For rows 6 through 9, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Now you're going to start with 3 front post double crochets, so it should be the opposite of what you've been doing. Okay, now you're going to alternate between back post double crochets, front post double crochets, back post double crochets. You're going to repeat that all the way to the end until the last 4 stitches. I'm at the end of row 6. Finish off with 3 back post double crochets, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, so here's the turning chain, 1 double crochet into the turning chain. Okay, repeat that for rows 7 through 9, and that'll be the end of the basket weave stitch. Once you've completed row 9 of your basket weave stitch, you're going to fasten off, and you just yarn over, pull through and through. So the reason why I'm fastening off is because now we're actually going to fasten on the same side over here. So this is the wrong side. I'm going to make a slip knot, and we're going to be working the half moon stitches. And then I'm going to find this is my turning chain. I'm going to insert my hook on top of the turning chain, and then place that loop there. Tighten it. Okay, so row 1, we're going to chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and 1 single crochet into every stitch across. So right here I'm catching the tail and just crocheting right over it. So 1 single crochet all the way across. Okay, last stitch. Now for rows 2 and 3, I'm going to chain 3 and turn, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch across. I'm going to work right over this tail here. Okay, row 3, chain 3 and turn. Again, just 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so row 4, chain 3 and turn. This is the row that we're going to work our circles. So you want to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. That chain 3 counts as your first double crochet stitch. Okay, so now we're going to work into the next stitch, 1 row below around the post. We're going to work 6 double crochets and then back up this side 6 double crochets. So 6 double crochets this way and back up this way. Again, there are timestamps in the description box if you need to go back to the beginning where I worked these stitches much slower. Okay, so I'm going to turn. Now I'm going to work 6 double crochets up this direction. Again, our first stitch we're working into is right behind this circle, so make sure you don't miss that. So that will be your first stitch, and then you want to work 7 more, so 8 double crochet stitches. So right behind the circle, that's 1, 8. Okay, now I'm ready to work another circle into the next stitch, 1 row below around the post, 6 double crochets, and then 6 double crochets up this side, the previous stitch around the post, and then we'll continue on repeating. Okay, so 8 double crochet stitches, and you're going to repeat that until your last circle, and then you should have 4 double crochets left. Okay, so that's the end of row 4. For rows 5 through 7, you're going to work double crochets across. So for rows 5, chain 3 and turn. This is going to be the same for rows 6 and 7 as well. 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, once you've completed row 7, we'll start row 8, chain 3 and turn. Okay, keep in mind that I did not work rows 6 and 7, so my circles will be closer together. But you will need to work rows 6 and 7, which is just another 2 rows of double crochet stitches. So right here, they're scattered and they're further apart. Just in this example, you'll see them a little bit closer. So for row 8, you're going to chain 3 and turn, and this chain 3 counts as a stitch, so we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. Okay, now we're going to work our circle around this post and then back up this post. Remember, it should be staggered. It should be in between these 2 circles. Again, it should be a little bit further up here, but this is just a sample. Okay, back up this side. This post here, I like to fold mine in half. 6 double crochet stitches. Okay, so your repeat is going to be the circle stitch and then 8 double crochets. So now we work 8 double crochets, starting with the stitch that's right behind the circle. And then you're going to repeat that all the way across. So you'll end with 8 double crochets at the end of your row. Okay, then row 9 is just double crochet stitches again. Chain 3 and turn. 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Once you've completed row 9, for rows 10 through 14, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 6, and you should have a total of 14 rows. Okay, once you've completed row 14, you should end with the right side facing you. Go ahead and fasten off, and then you want to turn to your wrong side and fasten on with the frosted pine color. Once you've fastened on with the new color, you're going to chain 3. This counts as your double crochet stitch, and then just work 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, row 2, we're just going to turn, and we're going to work our first cluster right on that first post. Okay, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet around the same post. So 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet. Skip 2 stitches. In the third, work a slip stitch. Now around the post where you slip stitch, you're going to work another cluster or pocket group stitch. 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet all around the same post. Repeat, skip 2, 1 slip stitch in the next, and then pocket stitch around the same post, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet all around the same post. It's going to be the same post where you worked your slip stitch. Skip 2 and work a slip stitch. Okay, so repeat that all the way across. Work your pocket stitch, skip 2, and then a slip stitch, and then repeat all the way across. Okay, so now we're going to start row 3, chain 3 and turn. And we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across. Remember, we're not working into the group here, we're just working into the skipped double crochets, and in the same stitch we worked our slip stitch. Okay, so you're going to repeat those 2 rows, rows 2 and 3, another 3 times, and then you finish off with row 2, which is the cluster pocket stitches. So I'm just going to work another one of these, and you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 times, and then you want to finish off with row 2, so the cluster stitches across. So you want to end after you've completed your last row of cluster stitches. 1 single crochet, 1 half, and 1 double crochet all around the post. Repeat, starting with the group stitch, skip 2, and then 1 slip stitch. Okay, group stitch, that's 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet all in one post, skip 2, and 1 slip stitch. Repeat that all the way across. Okay, so now you want to fasten off and fasten on the olive color. Now we're just going to work 3 rows of half double crochets. Grab your olive color and fasten on with that. You should be on the wrong side now. So once you fasten on, you're going to chain 2. That counts as your first half double crochet stitch. You're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch across. Remember that our last stitch pattern is going to look a little different, so we're working in the skipped double crochet stitches, and into the same stitch we worked our slip stitches. So 1 half double crochet in every stitch across. Okay, once you work 3 rows of your half double crochets, you're going to fasten off and then fasten on with your symphony yarn. Okay, so you're going to fasten on the right side of your work. So we're going to start off with a chain 1, 1 single crochet in every stitch across. Okay, remember when we first started, we actually started right here and then we worked this way, and then we had 2 foundation rows. So those are the 2 rows we're working on right now, so we'll just call them setup rows. So your first setup row is just 1 single crochet across. Okay, so our setup row 2 is chain 2 and turn. The chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet. Okay, so we're going to skip 2 stitches. This stitch here belongs to the chain 2. So we're skipping 1, 2. In the 3rd stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. 1, 2. Now we're going to chain 2. And then into the next stitch, work 2 double crochet stitches. 1, 2. So if you've made it this far, congratulations, you are almost done with your blanket. We're going to skip 2 and then work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So the repeat is going to be 1 half double crochet, skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets in the next, and then skip 2 and 1 half double crochet. Okay, 1 half double crochet, skip 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2, into the next stitch, 2 double crochets, into the next stitch, 2 double crochets. Skip 2, 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Skip 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, skip 2 and then 1 half double crochet into the turning chain. This one's a little tight here. Okay, now we're ready for row 1. Chain 2 and turn. Again, that is your half double crochet. Into the chain 2 space here, we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets right into the chain 2 space. So there's 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. 1, 2. We're going to go directly to the half double crochet stitches. We're going to work 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 2 half double crochets. Okay, chain 2 space, work the set of 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. So repeat that all the way across, and you want to end with 1/2 double crochet into the last stitch. Okay, front post double crochet around the 1/2 double crochet stitches, and then the set of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. You want to end with 1/2 double crochet in the turning chain. This was our chain 2. On top of the chain 2, you want to work your last 1/2 double crochet stitch. Okay, chain 2 and turn. Okay, chain 2 space, work your set of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Okay, now instead of a front post double crochet, we want to keep the raised stitches on the right side of our work. So we're going to work back post double crochet stitches. This will maintain the raised stitches on the right side of our work. Okay, chain 2 space, work your set of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So repeat that all the way across, ending with 1/2 double crochet into the last stitch. Just remember to maintain your post stitches. You want them all on the same side. Okay, into the turning chain, 1/2 double crochet. Again, just like the beginning of our blanket, you want to work 5 of these clusters or shell stitches. Okay, so you're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 until you have 5 of these. 5 of these double crochets, chain 2 and double crochets. I call them shells. Okay, don't fasten off when you're done. Now I decided to work single crochets across the edge, and I decided to use the color that I used for that row. So starting on the very edge, I'm going to chain 1, and I work these very loosely. So right here, this was our 1/2 double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook through the post and work 1 single crochet. And then I'm just going to look for the next stitch. I'm going to insert it right here and work a single crochet. Again, work your stitches loosely. So I think here I have like 1, 2, 3 rows. I'm just going to work 3 single crochet. Okay. And then right here, I will just work another single crochet. So this would be a start of the new color. So then I would switch out my color and continue working single crochet stitches. Again, work these single crochet stitches loosely. Don't pull on it so tight. So you'll be able to see right away if your stitches are getting too tight. So that means that it's puckering and you're either working it too tight or you don't have enough stitches along the edge. And if it starts to get a little wavy, then you have too many stitches. So then you can just adjust accordingly. So when you get to these group or cluster stitches, they actually cover up the post stitches that you want to work in. So what I did is just go into the very next post and work the single crochet around that and work it again very loosely. And then I just keep working single crochets across, switching out my yarn depending on what color it is. So if you want the right side of your single crochet to show on the right side, you would need to fasten off and start on this end so that your single crochets are on the right side of your work. So once you finish that side, you can then fasten off and fasten on the other side and work your single crochet stitches. Okay, so don't forget to weave in all the pesky ends. Okay, so let me show you what the side looks like. So I switched colors each time I went into a new section to work my single crochets on the edge. I think this is my favorite part here. It looks like mermaid scales. Thank you so much for watching and crocheting this throw blanket along with me. I've had so much fun designing it, and I hope you've learned a few new stitches, and I can't wait to see your project. Don't forget to tag me on your social media posts.